That's a bit of blues. That was Steve Ray Vaughan back in track there for Tin Pan Alley. I think I've got that on YouTube somewhere, me playing that, a little bit of it anyway. So, hello everybody. Got some questions. Oh, what type of humbuckers are on the Strat? I will tell you all about that. Modification. Gary, do you mean is the Strat been modded to take humbuckers? Or do you mean was the original Strat sort of changed? If that is the question, which I'm assuming it probably is, then yes. Actually, what it is not really modification as such, because the guitar itself was always sold as a the body was actually sold as a body. It was never actually put together as a guitar before I got it. So basically, what it is that I picked up this Strat body in at the London Guitar Show. Actually, I think it was. It was there was an old. Then I don't think they were around anymore, but there's a company called Brandoni that used to sell guitar parts. And when I was at the guitar show in London, I found this Sunburst body at the Brandoni stall and bought it. I think it was about 60 quid, something like that. So it was basically just like a brand new at the time Strat body, never been on a guitar, which I purchased at the time back in the sort of late 90s, I believe. So that was that. It's had about 3 or 4 different necks on this particular body, but at the moment it's got a neck of a Strat copy that I bought off Facebook, Facebook Marketplace, maybe 2 years ago, probably 2 years, something like that. But anyway, it was a Strat copy of Facebook Marketplace, which was £100 for the whole Strat. Basically, it was actually a pink Strat with so it was a pink body and a normal sort of like 3 single coils thing. And I really only bought it because it looked quite reasonable. Anyway, and it was also unbranded, so there was nothing on the headstock. So I popped that little fender. So this is not a Fender neck. This is basically a Strat copy neck that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and stuck a little Fender badge on there. In fact, I saw one very similar being sold by Harry Marsh. He was selling something on Facebook Marketplace a few months ago. So exactly the same thing, a pink Strat with the same unbranded headstock. So basically, this neck is exactly the same as the one that Harry was selling. So it's just a Strat copy, but that's actually quite a nice neck for my my guitar. So anyway, I'll introduce you to this. Is actually what I call my BK Bitsa, which stands for the Bare Knuckle Bitsacaster. So basically, in answer to Gary's question, the humbuckers that are in here are, the front one is a Stormy Monday, so it's a bare knuckle Stormy Monday, so the front pickup of a Stormy Monday set, and then the back pickup is the bridge pickup from a RiffRaff set. So I essentially wanted a fairly underwound pickup in terms of being humbuckers. I wanted something pretty underwound for a front pickup, so that it's slightly weaker than the back one, the RiffRaff, so for more of an overwound pickup. So they matched for me. I know they're not matching set, but the RiffRaff is a better, in my opinion, is a nicer sounding bridge pickup for a Strat. So basically, it's a humbucker Strat. It has been rooted out by a good friend of mine, Mark Ball. Rooted out the holes in the body, because it did just have 3 single coil holes. So Mark Ball rooted those out for me, so I could fit my humbuckers in there. So basically, it's been customized to that. So I bought a scratch plate off eBay. So it's basically like a Bitsacaster in very real sense. Neck nicked off an old Strat copy. Body bought from a spare parts selling place called Brandoni. Bare knuckle pickups, as I usually extol the virtues of the bare knuckle pickups. So that's that, and then the rest of it's all just bits and pieces that I had lying around at home. It's a 3-way switch. My other, the reason I say that is my other humbucker Strat is actually a 5-way switch, because I have some clever coil tapping going on. But this particular one is actually just a 3-way switch. I bought it really because I wanted to sort of try and get something where I could be fairly simple with it, much more of a Les Paul type sort of switching. So what I've done, which is quite interesting on this one, is put a treble bleed capacitor on the volume control. So basically, the treble bleed is it's a treble bleed capacitor, but it's also got a resistor on it, so it doesn't like just end up being really tinny when you turn it down like you do with most treble bleeds. It's got like, I think it's 160k resistor on it, which means it's sort of as it goes down, it's fairly consistent. So if I find a clean sound for you, I'll show you what I mean. So here's our front pickup. And as you turn it down, it gets sort of it doesn't lose any treble. It actually sort of gets slightly more trebly. So I'll turn it down. It's going to get quieter. So I'll try and play a bit louder. So yeah, you can hear that. So that's like the front pickup turned down to about, where are we? That's down to about 5. So it's halfway down. I had this idea years ago that if I had a Strat, because I had made up a humbucker Strat years ago with humbuckers and a treble bleed capacitor. And so the idea being that when it was full on, it would sound like a humbucker, and when you turned it down, it would sound a bit more Strat-like. So if I stick a bit of gain on it, basically it has a sort of has like a sort of fairly fat sound on the front pickup. But when you take it down a little bit, and if you turn it as you turn it down, the treble bleed kicks in, and you so it sounds quite bright. So the whole thing actually ends up being quite a bright sounding guitar when you turn it down. So it ends up sounding a bit like a Telecaster, basically. That was the thinking behind it, which would end up being like two humbuckers, which as you turn the volume down would turn into a very similar tone to 2 single coils. So this is like with a guitar on like 3 or 4, you get this sort of. That's like the back pickup. Both pickups. So you've got this so it sounds pretty twangy as you turn it down because of that treble bleed. So it gets quite versatile. So you end up, being able to get your average Stratty sounds out of the front. And as you turn it up, it gets a bit thicker. It works quite well if you have loads of gain as well. So you have like a lot of gain on it. And then take it right down. Sounds more like a Strat. Back pickup as well, you get. Sounds pretty fat, and then take it right down, but it doesn't lose that much volume. It just loses fatness. So that's almost with the volume off, basically. So if I that's almost off, and then full up is sort of turn it down a bit. So not a bad sounding guitar, all in all, I think. I mean, the clever thing about it is really the treble bleed, the fact that you can get the that nice sort of Stratty Telecaster type of sound in the same guitar as the same guitar. You can get the sort of, if you like, the Les Paulish fat tone. So, being able to get that on the same guitar is, I think, pretty handy. So yeah. So it's again not a if you like a bona fide Fender. So it's essentially a brand only and a Strat copy. Some fun going on in the back here. So let's have a look. The neck plate is one I found from another. I think it's from a bass guitar. So it's got, if you look at that one, it's got a little hole just there for an adjuster for like a 70s style sort of neck angler thing, but it doesn't have a hole there in the guitar. So it's just one I sourced. That is actually I cut that. I wanted to stick a bit because it's the Bare Knuckle Stratocaster. I thought I'd cut out the little sticker you get when you buy a Bare Knuckle pickups. So the little man on the back, don't know what his name is. I suppose he must have a name. But I thought I'd come and put him on the back. And then when I spoke to Tim at Bare Knuckles, he very nicely sent me some more stickers, proper stickers, all cut out, ready to put on the back. Sen, I think, did exactly the same thing. Nicked my idea, the feeding little man. But it all looks very cool, doesn't it, Senna? That's why I did it in the first place. And you can probably see also my little sticker there that my kids decided that they found. I think Jade and my son bought. He had his school trousers, and they had that sticker with reinforced knees on them. So he decided that it would be a good idea to stick that on my guitar, because that's probably what I need. To be fair, I've got bad knees, so I need some reinforced knees. That'd be nice. I'm just gonna have some of my tea. What was that? Phil? What's that, Phil? Family? Is that the Little Feet song? That sounded a bit like that, did it? I was making it up, so probably if any similarity to Little Feet was an accident, but I'm sure it probably was. Oh, thank you, Gary. Yeah. I'm glad you like the sound. Is there any other questions? Not so far. Oh, hello, the Kitcher family. How are you all doing out there? We'll soon be back teaching. I believe a couple of weeks, and we'll be back to doing some private teaching if we're very lucky. So anything else I want to tell you about this guitar? Probably not a great deal. It's a bit knackered. I've been using this for quite some time. I've had this guitar, the body in it, in any case, had the body since the 90s, the late 90s, and so it's been on. It's had lots of necks, and it's also a bit knackered, as you can probably see all over it. I think a lot of that was probably me treating it very, very badly to make it look knackered on purpose. So I will admit that was some of them are my attempts at relicking. So it's a bit knackered in places, and purely because I was very, very careless with the thing to make it look like I think at the time hugely into Stevie Ray. So the Sunburst body was definitely an attempt to get something that looked a bit like Number One. So that's why it probably why it looks a bit knackered from there. I mean, the neck itself, again, it's from a cheap Strat copy. You can see that the top contours aren't quite like a Strat there. It's not exactly the right shaped headstock either. But it's actually quite a nice neck. It's very sort of orangey. But to be honest, the neck, it's pretty good. It's a sort of like a fairly nice C shape. And incidentally, this guitar was used in, most of it was used on on our last album, Makes You Stronger. I pretty much used this on the whole album, most of the solos, most of the rhythm parts, because it had a really nice fat sound for that particular album. Had a lot of sort of like rocky, bluesy tunes on it, so it sounded really good for that. I think that this guitar, only these two knobs work. This is the volume control. This is the this is the tone control, but it only works. Oh, hello, Carol. This tone control only works on the back pickup. So if I put it on the front pickup, there's no tone control at all, which actually was an idea that I have. If you don't have a tone control on a pickup, you get just a tiny bit more brightness out of it. So I try and, if I need to, on certain guitars, disconnect whichever pickup doesn't need it on it. So a lot of cases, maybe telly neck pickups, which I never use the tone control on. And in this case, it's a humbucker. It still needs a little bit of help being bright, and I like a bright pickup in the neck position. So I've disconnected it completely from the tone control. So only the back pickup is connected to the tone control there. So it's quite handy. You can sort of leave the tone control turned down and flip between the two without affecting the front. So that's quite a good thing too. I think that's everything else about the guitar. It'll probably have a different neck on next week. You know, it's one of those things. It'll you know, this is sort of my muckabout guitar. Well, I've got about 3 or 4 muckabout Strats where I will change this. In the last 6 months, it's had 3 different necks on it. So it's one of those ones I'll muck about with. So I've used it for quite a lot of stuff. Quite a lot of stuff I've made on the on Tinternet, on YouTube, of me playing this particular guitar because it just has a nice nice ring. It's a different kind of Stratty sound, obviously. So I'm going to do a song and then say goodbye. What I think I'll do a song of. This is actually one of my songs of Better Side. So it's one of the sort of like more chilled songs called "What Would You Do." So I'm not gonna sing it or anything like that. I wouldn't subject you to that. I'm not that horrible, but I'll give you a sort of an idea, if I can, of what the different settings of the guitar, so you can hear like back pickup, front pickup, blah 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 blah. This is actually called "What Would You Do" off Better Side. If you want to buy the album or donate anything, I think my donate button, if you want to donate, is PayPal. PayPal, what is it? .me/Ron Sayer Jr. I believe, but I think you'll probably find it if you look it up. But yeah, PayPal.me/Ron Sayer Jr. And if you want to buy a CD, because I'm about to do one off Better Side, that's on the website www.sayerandjoyce.co.uk. What was that? Someone's asking me a question. What was Sheila saying? Just looked at the BK Man logo. Jimmy Carroll. Oh, thank you, Sheila. So it's Jimmy. The original imagery used in the very first adverts and packaging came from an early cigarette car, but it's now been actively redrawn by illustrator Carl Pitwan. So his Jimmy. So is that what we're saying? He is Jimmy. So that's Jimmy. Okay. So that's so we now know. Thank you, Sheila. I'm glad someone sort of I'm glad someone goes through the trouble of finding this stuff out, because I certainly aren't. And no, Gary, I'm not smoking a pipe. That would be quite cool, though. You know, me smoking, sitting here with I'll get a cardigan and a mug of cocoa and smoke my pipe while we're doing these things. But no, it's just a head mic, because it makes it easier. This is all plugged directly in, you see, so I can't just use the mic on the phone. So it's either I look like I'm smoking a pipe, or I look like I'm about to do a show with Madonna. Not that I normally get mistaken for Madonna, you understand? Right, thanks for listening, guys. If I haven't answered your question, just throw it down on the thread for this video, and I will answer it. But thanks again for watching, and I'll just play off with "What Would You Do" from Better Side. you go. That was What Would You Do from my first album, first official album, I suppose, Better Side. So anyway, that was episode 26. We're flying through them now, of 42 guitars, the meaning of life, meaning of my life. Anyway, so that's my Bare Knuckle Bitsacaster, or as I like to say, the BK Bitsa. So that was that. If you want to hear more of that, that was on Makes You Stronger. Go and buy that one. I'll be back with another guitar at some point in the future. I'll let you know when I'm coming. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a great afternoon. See you soon.